Hello, my name is Sonia Regal, and I've been asked to show you how I make my contoured face masks. I start with 2 pieces of finely woven cotton fabrics. They are I cut them approximately 8 inches by almost 9 inches. I iron on fusible interfacing that is non-woven. That helps to keep the smaller particles out. I use a piece of 16 gauge copper wire. It holds the best, but yet is still pliable enough to use in the face mask. I take that and I will do a small bend in each end, just very small. 2 pieces of 1/8 inch elastic. I cut them 7 1/4 inches long. The wire is 7 1/2 inches long. Then I sandwich the pieces of fabric together. I'll put this down so you can see it. When they're sandwiched together with the right sides together, I cut out this pattern I've made. The pattern is 8 inches across and 7 1/4 inches from at the center. The sides are curved up and it dips in here for the nose part. First thing you do after you've cut it out with right sides together, you're going to do a seam across the top, a seam across the bottom, and you're going to clip your curves. I notch out just a little bit at these 2 places to get rid of some of the extra bulk. Next, you're going to put your elastic in. You clip your pin or clip your elastic inside. And how I do that is you open it up, you put 1 piece in, you bring it right as close to the edge as you can, and you clip that in. Then you want to reach your fingers in and make sure that it's straight. Make sure that the elastic does not twist, because that would be uncomfortable on your ear. And then I'm going to put the piece in the other side. And I will clip that. And how we sew that is you start here. You got to make sure that this is the face side, or the nose side. The part for the nose is up here. And you're going to do back and forth several stitches here to catch the elastic, and then you're going to leave a space here for turning, and then you'll finish that off. Do the other side, clip your 4 corners. I do 1/4 inch seams. Then you're going to turn that right side out. When you've turned it right side out, your elastic will be on the outside. Here's the opening that I turned it with. I folded this under and ironed it. So that ironing it, I iron it on both sides to make it nice and stable and flat. The next step is to start at the far side and do a seam across here. This is at a full 1/4 inch, possibly just a couple of threads more than a 1/4 inch. Because then what we do here is we feed the elastic from the opening. That's why you have to make sure the opening is on the side up this side. So you can kind of weave it in there, and then you can slide that right in there. Then you're going to take that and you're going to just sew this closed. You have to maneuver the wire a little. I've got it bent a little bit now. But then you'll stitch this closed, being very careful not to try to stitch over the wire. You can feel the wire right through. I could stitch here, but not over here. And so you just do a small stitch right there to close that opening. Next, you're going to fold it. You're going to fold it so that I like to do it so that the nose side is up and the folds go under. So you're going to fold it, leaving a little space here and leaving a little space here, and it'll be two folds. You'll bring the two folds together, but don't overlap them. And you're going to do that on both sides, which is what we have here. And that way you can make sure it's even and smooth across. Then, this was one of the original masks I made, but I didn't feel like it contoured enough. It just didn't fit around the face as well as I'd like. So, once I get it even, then I take and I bend it around, making this into like a C shape here. See, I'm bending the back part is going down, and when that goes down like that, keeping the front side together, it kind of pops this out. So we do that on, go to the other one and do the same thing on the other, and you can work it around. I mean, just keep working it until you get it the way you want it. And so it ends up having like a C shape, and the back will have these points that will come down. And I don't want it any higher than that because I don't want it up in that part. So having it curved, when you get them curved like that on both sides, it pops that out, and this is what it looks like on the back and on the front. And the next step is to sew, and I reinforce it. I do back and forth a good bit just to make that nice and sturdy and flat. And I do a small seam over here on each side that holds, that's going to hold in everything in place. Now you want to be very careful not to let these fold back when you're sewing them. You want to be paying attention to what's going on underneath as well as keeping your C, so it keeps it on top. The next thing, you're going to flip that inside out, and this is the chin side. I've got the nose part up here. You're going to kind of measure halfway. You're going to fold that, and you're going to stitch in here 1/2 inch away from the outer edge. Stitch just back and forth a few times at the outer edge. Then you're going to fold that so it matches on it. Don't do it one side or the other. It just fits much better. It looks nicer if it's done in the middle that way. Then I put a clip on that. And then the next thing is to go in, and I will do a stitch further in, about 1/4 inch in, reinforcing these, making sure these are not flipped over, and that's what will reinforce these on the underside. I'll go down the one side, I'll go across, I'll reinforce this a little bit, go all the way over and back up. So when that's sewn, I've got the other stitch here, and being very careful not to hit that wire, and going down, reinforcing as I go, across and up. And then on the bottom side, that's what that looks like. It catches a lot of this, so it's not loose, it's reinforced. And this molds to the person's nose, and you got your mask.